Alright, hey guys, AnimeWestReacts here. This is my reaction to One Piece chapter 1120, titled Atlas. So yeah, we got the cover page, Yamato's cover story continuing. We got Denjiro having captured the kids that threw rocks at her. Kids getting put in timeout by the daimyo of Kibi Denjiro. So yeah, the ones who were throwing rocks at Yamato were being captured by Denjiro. But yeah, getting into the chapter, we go 26 years ago, Punk Hazard. So someone's saying, "I implore you, Vegapunk, please aid us in our research. It is imperative that we study the Void Century. The world's history can't remain shrouded in darkness." So we see that it's Clover talking to Vegapunk, and Clover says, "Our research requires expertise in numerous fields," and Vegapunk says, "I work for the government now. I can't afford to leak my findings." Then he says, "How many times have they caught you anyway? Open your eyes. Can't you see why they keep letting you go free? They're hoping to flush out your allies. Stand down. Let the past remain shrouded. You won't find the answer to good and evil in a bunch of old stories." And Vegapunk says, "I once knew someone who carried a D in their name. He was killed right in front of me. We grew up together." And then Clover says, "He was my big brother." And Vegapunk's like shocked, and he says, Clover says, "My real D is Clam D Clover. Cleom? Something like that." And then, yeah, it says, "We were only friends." In a flashback as he's like huddled over the body, and says, Clover says, on that day I lied to save myself. Then Clover says, "Tell me, how am I meant to accept a world where you can die just for having the wrong name?" And then Clover says, "History will only continue to be suppressed and people will never know." And Vegapunk's kind of like shocked, but turns his back and says, "I'll forget about what you just told me, but I'm afraid I can't help you. Do your best to stay safe." And Clover says, "The voices of the past call out to you. Just wait. I'll solve this puzzle, and when I do, you won't be able to ignore them." And so we go 4 years later to 22 years ago, and says, "Did you hear the news about..." Yeah. Says, "Did you hear the news from the West Blue? O'Hara came face to face with a Buster Call. Take a look. It's the biggest massacre ever." And then, yeah, you got Caesar laughing silently. Finally got that He's saying, "They finally got that archaeologist Clover Shuro." And then he's like dancing in the background or something, or like jumping and saying, "That's what happens when you look into the Void Century. No one's going to make that mistake again." And yeah, Vegapunk thinking back to, "I implore you, Vegapunk." And then Caesar, I guess, says, "Oh, looks like some brat survived." And then, yeah, we go to kind of transition to when he visited O'Hara, like he told us about before he met Dragon, or after, one of the two. He's got the flowers. He says, "You must have had a chance to escape, Clover. You chose death. Was passing on your research that important? You fools, did you really expect someone to be curious enough to follow in your footsteps after this?" And then, yeah, we go back to the present. Vegapunk's message comes back and says, "Someone once told me that the voices of the past call out to you. History is written by the victors, and the words of the vanquished are usually cast into the deep, dark ocean. That being said, their truth can still come to light. If the oppressed carry it on their backs and endure." And like as it's saying that, we got Robin kind of like covering her face with her hand. And it says, "What are you doing?" And it says, Vegapunk says, "For my part, I'm leaving this to the world." And yeah, it's Zoro, I guess. Zoro and Jinbei saying, Hey, what are you doing? Zoro then says, hurry and blast off. Lilith says it's no good. That old centaur is going to keep attacking. We're finished if he does. The ship can fly for a kilometer if that old geezer disrupts our trajectory. Blah. If the geezer disrupts our trajectory even a little, we won't make it. So yeah, Lilith says, the wind's blowing north and that's reducing our lift. Any further jolts will make us fall short of our projected landing zone. According to my calculations, if we miss the ocean, our damages will be critical. We'll have to get rid of him first. And then Lilith suddenly says, what? And yeah, Atlas comes out of nowhere and punches Lilith in the back of the head. And they're like, what, Lilith? Or yeah, they say like, why, Lilith? Zoro and everyone's shocked. Usopp and Chopper say, Atlas. Zoro says, why did you do that to Lilith? And she says, huff. And snap. Here, snap. And Atlas says, I'll leave her in your hands. Take off. I'll make sure you make it in one piece. So, yeah. Usopp says, what are you talking about? York says, Lilith access has been severed. Atlas is the only one left. And so, yeah, she's like, because she knocked Lilith out, so York's not picking her up anymore. Nami says, take Lilith inside, Zoro. He says, got it. And then I guess, yeah, they say, Atlas, you've got to explain. Then Jinbei says, let's go. And yeah, they say Jinbei, and he says, we'd regret it if we hesitated now. And then Zoro yells, do it, Brook. And it says, right away, Zoro-san. And they Kuda burst as Atlas is flying, yeah, towards Nosturo, gets one of her arms cut off, but manages to grab hold of him. And using the Dom shoes, she like swings around, I guess, is what it looks like. And is pushing him out of the way. So yeah. Then Vegapunk says, this broadcast of mine, I'm praying that this message gets transmitted safely. And then yeah, everyone's like, whoa, Vice Admiral Helm, sir, what is this? There's a snake, a boar, a bird, and now a robot. Where did these giant creatures come from? And then yeah, Hound says, I honestly don't have the faintest idea. And then yeah, Luffy's like, it's a huge robot. And then yeah, the giants are like an iron giant. Then Emmett says, Joy Boy, I am happy we got to meet again. And then Luffy is like looking around like, like who? And he says, over here, you. And then yeah, Emmett says, I realized it would be foolish to blindly trust in a one-sided account of a 900-year battle. And it says, or that was Vegapunk saying that. And then Emma says, I came like before, your enemy is my enemy. I am glad I can fight for you again, Joy Boy. And then Luffy's like, you can talk? That's so cool. And he says, I will protect you from danger, Joy Boy. And then, yeah. The boar and the worm say, we must pound them to dust. It seems Vegapunk's speech is all but over. And then, yeah, the giants are like, let's go. Hey, Straw Hat, is he a friend? Then Luffy's like, not really. He was saying something about protecting some guy called Joy Boy. Who even is that? And they say, it talked, we didn't hear a thing. And I say, whoa, really? And then Bluegrass says, enough chit-chat, shoot them. Or shoot, we can't let them get away. And they say, yes, ma'am. They start like firing the cannons. Vegapunk's message says, but I think we should be able to scrutinize and learn about the past from every perspective possible. I only wish I had more time. And so yeah, Emmett like holds out his hand to do like a rocket punch. It goes like ching. And then Vegapunk says, but there are those who cannot be stopped. And then yeah, Frankie and Sanji are like, It's ready to fire. What's gonna come out? And then nothing happens. And then it's like, uh-oh. Everyone's like, what? Watch out, robot. And then, yeah, he gets, like, bitten, it looks like, by, forget his name, the worm. They're like, whoa, robot. It says, it seems the last 900 years have rendered those weapons inoperable. And then Saturn comes crushing. Okay, it's Peter. It says, Peter, crush them where they stand. In this transmission once and for all, as he comes, like, Saturn jumps off Jupiter's back. Okay. And says, I will not let you escape. As he lands on the ship. It says Kuma Bonnie. And it says, Sonny's like, huh? That's the Sunny. And Sora says, hold on tight, we're going down. Are we gonna make it? And then, yeah, Nostro says, so you mean to make a grand sacrifice of yourself? And Atlas says, nah, I'm just lending a hand. And then, boom. Atlas blows up. And then it says, Vegapunk says, 25 years ago, the pirate Goldie Roger achieved the unprecedented by circumnavigating the globe. And then the Sunny, everyone on the Sunny says, we're going to make it. And Usopp says, it only worked because you right. It only worked because of you, right, Atlas? And then it says, or Vegapunk's message then says, yeah. Goldie Roger unprecedented by circumnavigating the globe. I have no idea. I have no doubt they heard the whole thing. Then York says, Atlas signal is gone. It's finally happened. And then, yeah, Nostro's got like a huge, seemingly chunk out of his head and shoulder missing. And then Nostro says, no, not quite. Saturn then says, we have let you say far too much, Stella. And then Jupiter and the War Curie, I think, say, this is the end. Ooh. And then Emmett says, oh my, I have really rusted away. This is the time you spoke of, right, Joy Boy? Can I use it? It says, Vegapunk says, they must have heard the voices of the past, the purest, voices of the past from the purest source possible. I am confident you have all come to the same conclusion at this point. And I anticipate that it is what will ultimately determine how things transpire in the future. And then some people in Impel Down saying, wait, what was that? You say Gold D? So yeah. The rest of the world, I guess, finding out that Roger is Goldie Roger, actually. But yeah, like the video, share it, sub the channel. Hope y'all enjoyed this video. And yeah, I will see y'all later. Bye.